Si on était bien au pays, est-ce qu'on allait prendre la route de l'aventure? Ah, mais c'est le président. Un pauvre qui vote ou celui qui l'a rendu pauvre. Si on était bien au pays, est-ce qu'on allait prendre la route de l'étranger? Ah, mais c'est le président. Assemblée, il y a un vieux. Vraiment. Au Sénat, il y a un vieux. Wonderful. À la présidence, il y a un vieux. Dans tout le gouvernement, il n'y a que des vieux. Des vieux, des vieux. Des jeunes prennent le chemin de la limite pour devenir des esclaves. Les jeunes prennent la route du désert pour entrer en Europe. Assemblée, il y a un vieux. Sonia Touko. Au Sénat, il y a un vieux. À la présidence, il y a un vieux. Dans tout le gouvernement, il n'y a que des vieux, des vieux, des vieux.
Hi. Good day to the beautiful people of the Cameroons. Good day to the beautiful people of La République du Cameroon and the beautiful people of British Southern Cameroon. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a party political broadcast by myself, Maître Mola Alex Dive-Lee Singer, the leader of British Cameroon National Party. Is a constitution of a country an act of union? Ladies and gentlemen, today I've come to talk on this party political broadcast in connection to the misleading information that some learned people go around misleading our people. One of the reasons, as the leader of British Cameroon National Party, I love to be on the same platform with a lot of people, but unfortunately, most people are scared to debate with the leader of British Cameroon National Party because they want to distort facts. They want to justify the annexation of British Southern Cameroon by La République du Cameroun and France. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't like to get into the argument about colonialism or decolonization, whether we were not. That's not the point. The point is, British Southern Cameroon have been annexed. All those words or what? Sometimes we make as if the United Nations had a right to come and colonize or whatever they did in Africa. They had no right. It was illegal. Forget the name United Nations. That name United Nations, it was created by some countries, some club. They created the Njangi house. They went around all over the world causing atrocities. What has that got to do? When you talk United Nations, it's as if, who gave them a right? They had no right to do what they did in Africa. They had no right. What's United Nations? USA, United Kingdom, France, Soviet Union, China. There were 51 countries. They sat and they decided to commit war crimes or atrocities, not even war crime, crime against humanity in Africa. Colonialism, slavery, all those in apartheid, they are all crime against humanity. Imagine some countries in Africa, they sat there, let me say about 50, they sign something, they come to Europe, they start doing what they want to do in Europe, and they take over the territory of Europe. Then they say, we are United Nations. Ladies and gentlemen, forget about all these things. Think outside the box. What they did was illegal. Because they say, oh, there's an article, is it Article 76 sub B in the United Nations Charter. It says, countries who were unable to govern themselves. That's why they came to Africa. That's why under the trusteeship council, they said countries who were not able to govern themselves. But let me tell you something. Most people don't think outside the box. When was the United Nations created? I'm sure it started on, is it 24th of October 1945, sometime around then. Okay? So they said, they came now, in 1945, let's assume, countries who cannot govern themselves. Okay? In 1884, why were they dividing countries, colonies? The Berlin Conference, 1884 to 1885. King Leopold of Belgium, we gave you Zaire, Congo for free. So those people, they were not able to govern themselves. I just want to go, before I go back to this Constitution and Union Treaty, because that's the topic. I just want to prove how these people, they keep on lying. And today, we from Africa, we cannot rewrite the history. Because you are saying, on the 24th of October 1945, United Nations Trusteeship Council, you're saying Article 76 sub B, countries that they cannot govern themselves. But you have already partitioned Africa in 1884. You see the logic, what I'm trying to say. They have already partitioned Africa long ago. Okay, let's see now, in the case of the Cameroons, let's see what happened. Okay, in 1520, that place they call Rio dos Cameroons, because it was not a country, it was Africa. Because they keep on saying Cameroon was one, we were one. We were never one. The first time they ever called that name Cameroon, which is Rio dos Cameroons, it was in 1520. The Portuguese, they came to that geographical location in Africa. They set up a sugar plantation and they started slave trade in Rio dos Cameroons. It was a slave trade plantation. It was not a country called Cameroon. Take note. In 1600, I'm telling you because a lot of people lie too much. They distort the facts. 1600, the Dutch took over the slave plantation from the Portuguese. It was a slave plantation. It was not a country called Cameroon. Is it in 1916? No, in 1884 first, the Germans, they came in. I heard blah, blah, they signed some treaties with some Douala chiefs. People who were governing their nations, their kingdoms, they signed with some of those people, the Germans, treaties. But they told them not to go into the interior. But the Germans, they went into the interior. Okay, this kingdom or chief or Douala chiefs who signed those things, were they people from Banso? No. Were they people from Oku? No. Bakore people? No. Mondemba? No. Manfe? No. So it was some kingdom who signed with these people. So it was not a country. So some of them, they call them German colony. What a colony? Colony is not your territory. It's a foreigner coming to another man's land. So it was not a country. People keep on fooling you, lying that the Cameroons was one. It was not a one. It was not one, rather. In 1916, after they defeated the Germans, these two countries, they call them superpowers or what? British and French troops, they forced the German to leave that geographical space in Africa. That space, that was what? Portuguese sugar plantations, Rio dos Cameroons. They forced them. Okay? They forced these people out. Then I'm giving you an example. At the end of the day, they created their trusteeship council. Then they say Article 76 sub B. Countries who were not able to govern themselves, they were going to protect them and give them self-government or independence. Okay, fine. So, my great-grand-uncle, who was the founder of Bali, all those ones, so they were not governing their nation. Were not able to govern. They were. Whether it's King Aqua or what, whoever in Douala, were they not governing their nation? They were governing their nation. All over the kingdoms in Africa, they have their chief, they have their manjong, military, everything. So how come that these people came up with something that countries that cannot govern themselves? They are the one who brought these kingdoms together by force without asking their opinion. So colonialism was a scam, a 419. I keep on telling people that we are where we are. Our trouble today in British Southern Cameroon, we are where we are. And these people created two countries. Instead of us to live together with those two countries, different institutions, another country have annexed another person. Another country that's not even independent is still under France. That's our problem. So, if you look, before 1954, Southern Cameroon was being governed under the framework under Nigerian constitution. Nigeria, they did not annex us. They did not. We're still Southern Cameroon. Southern Cameroon was autonomous in Nigeria. Under their federation, we're autonomous. We had a degree of self-governance inside Nigeria. Did Nigeria change our name? No. Why is it that La République du Cameroon changed our name? We're still there. Between 1954 and 1957, there were talks in London for constitutional reform. In Nigeria and in the Cameroons were discussing in London for a constitutional reform. Nigeria did not change our name. We were using their constitution. It was not even Southern Cameroon's constitution. Then later on, Dr. Endele removed us in 1954 and brought us in Boya and gave us autonomy. We were not even part of La République. We left Nigeria. We were not part of La République du Cameroon, 1954 in Boya. We had our autonomy, self-governance. I don't know which laws or constitution we were using, but we had a prime minister. We had a parliament. We have a government, political authority. We had a territory and we had a population. That's the definition of a country. But I've seen some people are trying to mislead other people. They keep on saying, my point is, it's not whether they gave us independent or not independent. My point is simple. Maitre Mola Alex Ndivelisinger is saying, okay, we came together, fine. Alex Lissinger and George Lissinger came together. We are living in one house. We can live in that one house from thy kingdom come as George Lissinger, Alex Lissinger. We don't need to change each other's name. Let me go back at the main topic today about constitution. Is a constitution an act of union? Because I saw one of my learned professor who taught me in Guakele was saying that the treaty, we call it act of union. That's the right name to call it. It was the constitution. Ladies and gentlemen, an act of union can never be a constitution. An act of union is a legal term referring to law passed by legislature, a law that was passed in parliament. That's an act of union. To unite two entity, two political entity or more, that's an act of union. That is what? By dissolving another political entity and coming back to one. I will give you an example with England. England and Scotland, in 1707, they signed an act of union. What was it? If I want to meet you in anything in life, it's just that in Africa, sometimes we are useless. We don't like to do the things rightly. If you borrow somebody or you ask somebody to lend you money in Africa, oh, I've given you 1,000. Can we write it in paper? Oh, why you not trust me? You for trust me now, you give money now for me why I get to... You have to do things the right way. That's why we are suffering today in British Southern Cameroon. So, as I talk about Act of Union, a law passed by legislature, legal law, to bring two different units. What happened? That's what would have happened in British Southern Cameroon and La République du Cameroon. Scotland and England, they accepted that they want to come together to form one political entity. I want to differentiate Act of Union, and some people call treaty, with a constitution, because some people are lying that the constitution was the treaty. So Scotland had its own parliament separate. England had a separate parliament. It's just like British Southern Cameroon had its parliament, La République du Cameroon had its parliament. That's how Scotland was. So they agree that let's come together and form one political entity. Let me call it one parliament. So it's just like La République du Cameroon to say, British Saudi Cameroon, let's form one parliament. So they came together, they created one parliament. Scotland, England, La République du Cameroon, British Southern Cameroon. One parliament, no problem. But the difference is, La République du Cameroon with France have annexed us. Unlike Scotland and England, what happened is they came together, two countries, they come, United Kingdom. There are other countries too, other two countries, but let me focus on Scotland and England. They came together, United Kingdom, England and Scotland. Okay, we of British Southern Cameroon, we came with La République du Cameroon, what Federal Republic of Cameroon. Okay, let's not mind. I just play mafia and change it. Okay, United Republic of Cameroon. Yes, it still shows that two countries came together with their two flags under federalism. Our problem now is, why do you want to make as if the other country, British Southern Cameroon, was not existing? There's nothing wrong. Assuming that all of us want to stay together in their one and indivisible Cameroon. Scotland and England, different countries came under United Kingdom, one and indivisible United Kingdom. Nothing wrong with that. But when you start playing the game by using your own institution, forcing it on British Southern Cameroon when we have our own institution, that's the problem. Ladies and gentlemen, Scotland and England, they are in the United Kingdom, the same as we used to be together with La République. Different names. Scotland have got a different legal system from England, but they are still in one and indivisible United Kingdom. Scotland have got a different football team, but and England have got a different football team. They are still what? In United Kingdom. You see, nobody is taking out another person's identity. Scotland have got its own different religion. England have got its own different religion. Scotland have got their own money. England have got their own money. But they are still under United Kingdom. You can use Scottish money in England. You can use English pounds in Scotland. So it's people maintain their identity, but they are still one. But in the Cameroons, La République du Cameroon doesn't want us to maintain our identity. That's the problem. If they say, okay, we are African brothers who have come under one country, they should remain there, La République du Cameroon. They should allow France to be manufacturing their money, we to have our own money. They should leave us to use our police, they use their gendarmes and B. They should leave us to use our own legal system, they use their own legal system. They should leave us to use our own institution. That is the problem. But today people hide. When people kidnap for ransom, kill people, they are blaming the problem on those people. Those people are criminals. Don't try to overshadow our problem with people who are killing people. Those people, some of them who are killing people, they have been living in villages, no light, no electricity. I'm not justifying it. When you don't create jobs for people, when you abandon people, they become like animals. Even in the Western world. If you don't create jobs, you don't look after young people, there will be knife crime in London. So you fight crime and the causes of crime. So ladies and gentlemen, this is our problem. And today, Most people come today and say, oh, this is a secession, this is that. The problem in Cameroon, we are full blockhead. A lot of pseudo scholars in the Cameroon that it doesn't relate to what I'm saying. In the Cameroons, if you're not a constitutional expert, you want to talk. If you're not a pilot, you want to pilot a plane. If you're not a medical doctor, you want to do an operation for a patient. That's how the Cameroons function. People, you see their television. You have ministers in the Cameroons. The television should be inviting the ministers to talk about the problem in the Cameroon. But they bring people who are not running the country, they interview them to answer questions for the minister. If I want to talk to the prime minister of this country, I want interview. BBC, Sky News, Al Jazeera, we want to interview the prime minister. But you go and interview people who have got nothing to do with running of the government. Then those who are running the government, when they come and talk to you, you journalists, you're there like rats. You're scared. Then you say, I will molinex you. That's what happens. So, ladies and gentlemen, the fact that we had a plebiscite is different from referendum, but let me still call it referendum. It doesn't mean, it was not obligatory that we must join La République du Cameroun. The people of the United Kingdom, they voted to leave European Union. That was a referendum. The government at the time under David Cameron had the powers to say that, oh no, we are not leaving the European Union because we have parliamentary sovereignty. It's parliament that have powers. But when you have a referendum, it's a recommendation. And you must not implement a recommendation. Some people say, we voted to join them. So what? Scotland signed a union treaty to join England 300 years ago. Some Scottish people say, we are not happy, we want to leave. They created party, they said they should stand for election. If you have 40%, we'll give you a referendum. They stood there, Scottish National Party, they had 40%, they gave them devolution, decentralization. Then they fought, they gave them a referendum. Do you want to stay in the United Kingdom or leave? 55% they voted to stay in the United Kingdom, 45% say they want to leave. That is democracy. You don't impose your will on us because you want to please France. Ladies and gentlemen, I've seen some misleading information. Some people say, oh, a constitution was a treaty. I saw one of my lecturers saying that it's not true. It is not true. A constitution has set of fundamental principles. So when we were in Nigeria as an autonomous entity in Nigeria, so that Nigeria, the constitution of Nigeria was a treaty act of union. No, it was not. Constitution has set of fundamental principle or established precedents, according to which a state is governed. It is a supreme law of the country, fundamental principle. Let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, this is what is in any constitution, the general principle of a constitution. You have a government structure. That's executive, you know it, legislative, and judiciary. You have citizens' right, fundamental right, your freedoms. That's what is in a constitution. It is not an act of union. It is not a treaty. You have citizens' right. You set the legal framework of all other laws in a constitution. You define what is a sovereignty. As we know, La République is not a sovereign nation. They surrendered their sovereignty and their independence in 1959 by signing a cooperation agreement telling France that they have to determine their socio-political orientation, determine their education at all levels, manufacture their money, prioritize their natural resources to give it to France. All those things, they surrender their independence before the so-called independence. An independent country have supreme power to decide what they want to do. La République cannot say, okay, I'm no longer exporting my natural resources. We'll deal with it only in the Cameroons. They cannot do that because they are not independent. They are not sovereign. La République du Cameroon cannot determine what supply of money in their country. Inflation. They don't have a central bank. So they are not independent. France is still controlling them. Some people even use it neo-imperialism. It's not neo-imperialism. It is still colonization. If we were even neo-imperialism, I would say we are better. But they have total control of the country. They determine who is the president of Francophone country. You people go and waste your time that you're voting. If it's Alassane Ouattara, they say it's Alassane Ouattara. They have put a new president in the Cameroons now, Ngongo. He runs the country. You people keep on saying that it's Biya who is running the country. The person who is running the country physically that you see, that's the president. That's the de facto president under. It's Ngongo who is the president of Cameroon. You people, why are you people so funny? If you enter an office, the job that the president is supposed to be doing is being done by Ngongo. They say, oh, you're waiting. Oh, Paul Biya. Well, Paul Biya is not running the Cameroons. Ngongo is the president. I can be a chairman of a company and I be a sleeping chairman. I hand everything to somebody. That person who is running it is the chairman. As I was talking about, a constitution defines sovereignty. It provides how to amend the constitution. That's what you have in the constitution. It shapes the nation's identity. In Cameroon, we don't have identity. We are like Amweba. Right? It gives core values of the country, an aspiration of the country. That's a constitution. So when I see some of blended people, they come and say, oh, the Union Treaty was a constitution. No, you can change the constitution every day. New generation can come. You see, our generation one day, they will look at us like archaic people, ancient people. So in future, 20, 50 years, they will change it. It's only in Cameroon that they are not changing the old laws because they want it to suit them. With time, they have to change law. My constitutional lecturer, Bipum Moum Jean-Marie Ngwakele, say, la constitution, c'est pour les vivants. Constitution is for living people, not for dead people. As constitution of Cameroon is for dead people. Most of those laws are archaic, they are bad laws, but they don't want to change it. So that's the problem, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm saying, we have never been one Cameroon. It has never happened. I'm willing to have that debate with everybody. Anybody, anytime. We have never been one. It was a Portuguese slave sugar plantation. It was not a country. We have been annexed. The problem between La République du Cameroun and British Cameroon, the solution is what? Equal status. Two countries came together. Forget that thing they say independence. Scotland is not independent. It's there. Scotland is in the United Kingdom. It's not independent. England is in the United Kingdom. It's not independent. Northern Ireland is in the United Kingdom. It's not independent. Wales is inside the United Kingdom. It's not independent. La République du Cameroun and British Southern Cameroon, they were inside Federal Republic of Cameroon. They were not independent. There were two countries inside that space. West Cameroon and East Cameroon, they were inside that the same space, two countries. Until La République du Cameroun made us open eye. You have your own plate of food, we have our own plate of food. Brothers and sisters, let's eat together. You say, no, I go move your own star. I go maintain my name, La République du Cameroun. We don't want your name, we go use my name. That is the problem. And it is very easy to solve this problem. A pen is mightier than the bullet. If these people think they will play their mafia, listen, no government can ever fight their people. You cannot succeed. Ngongo, they know. Listen, the genocide in Rwanda, nobody ever planned it. It took 100 days. Almost 1 million people, 800 to 1 million people died. Because why? They shot the plane of their then president. Automatically, there was the civil war which led to genocide. So ladies and gentlemen, let's not start and pretend and say peace and unity. Ladies and gentlemen, if you put me, well, how can I say it? If I sit down on top hot fire they under this chair, why she don't? Then you say, oh, peace and unity. Peace and unity. So that fire will be burning me. Then I sit there, peace and unity. There is no peace. No justice, no peace. Ladies and gentlemen, if I am hungry, I haven't eaten for 2 days. They say, no, Alex, don't worry, Alex. Just peace, don't worry. Even if you don't eat, just peace, pray for peace. I've not eaten. That's what La République is saying. There is problem in the Cameroons. You people are not bringing solution. All you want is election. We need solution. Whether you receive 1 million chiefs, 1 million bishops and archbishops, it's not going to change anything. The people want change. If you deny us the change, which you have been doing so since 1992, listen, it was the government of La République du Cameroun that, which word should I use, drafted or proposed my syllables, French Revolution. If you see the entire Cameroons, the causes and the immediate cause of French Revolution, they are similar. It's already there now in the Cameroons. The French people did not want French Revolution. The American War of Independence, they did not want that war. All over the world where there is war, no person in the Cameroons, La République du Cameroun citizen, British Cameroon citizen, they don't want war. The warmonger is people who have been in power since 1960. They are eating taxpayers' money. They are not developing the country. So at some stage, they say in English, a hungry man is an angry man. Some of us from British Cameroons, we have been fighting for equal status ever since I was a boy. It is recently now that La République du Cameroun citizens, they start shouting over social media because there is social media. There was no social media when we started fighting. There was no social media when we started fighting for multipartism, Boya University, equal status, tripartite, which was national. There was no social media. Today it's easy. Anybody can sit on the phone and be talking like myself. We were dedicated. We had that conviction. We go to places. I visited places in Northwest that I've never been in my life to go and campaign for equal status. In Yaoundé, in Southwest region, other places, because we had that conviction. And that's why I say, nobody will ever stop me from doing what I'm doing. The only day I will stop is the day that I will die, because it is my conviction. I don't join groups because a lot of people just follow the crowd. Before we joined La République du Cameroun, when Ndeli said, if you join these people, you people are finished. If we were in Nigeria, Nigeria is better off than La République du Cameroun. At least in Northwest and Southwest, British South Africa, we would have had an international airport. They would have done the deep sea port. We would have had a motorway. We would have been the governors and the senator elected. Use English legal system. No gendarmes, no B. As things stand, if we would have followed Ndeli, as some say, Ndeli had no choice. Ndeli said, I don't like Nigeria, and removed us from Nigeria in 1954, brought us in Boya. Then when they said we should join these Francophonie animals, because they are dictators, they are animals, they like killing people. Dr. Ndeli said that if you join those people, you're finished. Torture, B or what? And there was no third option. So what did I do? There was two alternatives. He said, well, I left Nigeria because I don't really like Nigeria. But to remain with these people, we better be in Nigeria, which was true. We would have we would have been better in Nigeria, sorry. We would have been better there. But we are in a country where one man ruled the country, they appoint everybody. If you want to know if British Southern Cameroon would have been better in Nigeria, go and look at Northern Nigeria, all those Taraba, Maiduguri, look at the development there. Compare it with Northwest and Southwest. We have nothing in Northwest and Southwest. Nothing. Look at the roads. Look at everything. Centralization means stealing from us, giving part in some parts of La République, then the rest France take it. Are we not good enough for us to be manufacturing our own banana, cocoa, and cotton, diamond, producing our own oil in our country? What's difficult there? We have that technology today. But La République du Cameroon, including the citizens, they have accepted to remain under France. And we are going to go. And British Cameroon National Party will lead the people of British Southern Cameroon legally by using Article 65 of the Constitution of La République du Cameroon, the right to self-determination, and leave this country that is being run by criminal syndicate. Open criminal. You see, all Mr. Bia's ministers, they are in prison. Ondomdom, Mendoza was there, Mebara was there, Titus Ezwa was there. All of them, am I the one putting them there? Once as they lock you up in prison, you're a criminal. Then they take people who are fighting for their right of self-determination, like Ngalim, Mancho BBC, Benji, Seseseko and Co. You lock them up. When the people, Chiruma, and some of those Nordists, they committed this thing, coup d'etat, but they are your ministers. You people treat the people of British Southern Cameroon like a fly upon a sheet. We don't care about your problem with France. We don't hate you. You people have decided to remain with France, and we are saying we don't want to be under France. Is there anything wrong with that? No. So my country people, they want to support British Cameroon National Party, and let's leave that here, that country, La République, that's been run by France. Have a wonderful day. Thank you very much. Once more, ladies and gentlemen, this has been a party political broadcast by myself, Maître Mola Alex Ndive Lisingue. Ciao.
Pauvre, si on était bien au pays, est-ce qu'on allait prendre la route de l'étranger? Le président. Des vieux